Dear participants, we are starting this group. नहीं हम ऐसा करेंगे मैम कि आप लोग करो चाहे तो फिर उसके बाद में हम कर देते हैं हम तो आप लोग के पीछे हैं दोनों गलती करेंगे ना कोई गलती हो पाएगा नहीं A very good afternoon to one and all present here.
I, Ashish Dewan, on behalf of Dewan Institute of Management Studies and B.A.LL.B, welcome you again on the fifth day of National Level Faculty Development Program on Leadership Dynamics, Insights from Rama. Now, I'd like to request Professor Dr. Vicky Sharma ma'am to please share her insights on the topic resolving conflicts through dialogue, building bridges and finding a common ground. Ma'am, please.
Very good afternoon to everyone and Ram ji. Well, today's topic, that is resolving conflict through dialogues. Conflict is one such term which always gives us a very negative impression. But in terms of Ramayana, if we talk about, to understand this term, conflict, we need to understand it from the prospect of dharma and adharma. Right? So, when we try to understand that what is this word dharma and why am I associating it with the term dharma? Because Ramayana says that there were various situations, various instances where different people or different character of Ramayana found themselves into dharma sankat. This dharma sankatam or dharma sankat is nothing but a conflict. Whether to do this or that. Whether to go for right or for wrong. So this dharma sankat I associate it with conflict. And to understand the situation of dharma sankat, we need to first understand that what exactly dharma is. This is a very common term. We say dharma. ये तो मेरा धर्म था. So what exactly dharma is? If anyone would like to contribute. What is dharma? To do with their duties. To do their duties. Okay.
The style or the way in which we live.
The way we live is dharma. Right? To elaborate this term, I say just one thing, that whatever Ram did was dharma and whatever Ram did not do was adharma. A very simple definition of dharma. I repeat it again. Whatever Ram did is dharma and whatever Ram did not do is adharma. Right? So this is how we understand what dharma is. Now let's understand that how this entire case study, this live case study of Ramayana has actually begun. To understand this, I will start talking about Raja Dashrath, who was wanting to have a son so that his family should go on from generation to the generation, for the longingness of the generations. Now Raja Dashrath, if we talk about, why do we call him Dashrath? Because he was a king with 10 indriyas, 10 senses, and he could run the chariots into 10 different directions. So we call him Dashrath. 10 रथ. वो 10 अलग-अलग दिशाओं में अपनी 10 इंद्रियों की मदद से रथ को चला सकते हैं. उनकी 3 रानियां थी और उनसे उनको 4 बेटे थे. Right? And what were the name of those 4 sons? Ram, Bharat, Lakshman and Shatrughan. Right? And these 4 sons are actually associated with 4 different characters of life, which are Dharma, Moksha, Arth and Maya. Moksha. So these are the 4 things. So these 4 things are associated with each of the sun. We associate Ram with Dharma. We associate Bharat with Moksha. Now this Moh or Maya, हम उनका नाम हमेशा साथ में लेते हैं. So this Moh, Maya, Moh is earth, money, and Maya is desire, right? So we see that wherever there is more money, there will be more desires, and wherever there are more desires, you would need more money to accomplish those desires. So they are twins, and there is a need to separate these twins. So Lakshman and Shatrughan, they were twins. Right? And there was a need to separate these 2 twins. So, what had happened actually? Lakshman was associated with Ram. Arth, money, was associated with Dharma. So that whatever money you have should be spent into righteousness, into the right things. Right? Moksha is associated with desires. That whatever desires you have, you should ultimately get moksha. You should ultimately get freedom. मोक्ष इज व्हाट लोग कहते हैं कि मोक्ष तो हमें शायद जीवन के बाद प्राप्त होता है बट मोक्ष इज फ्रीडम ऑफ थॉट्स इट कुड बी फ्रीडम ऑफ एनीथिंग फ्रीडम फ्रॉम एनीथिंग दैट इज मोक्ष राइट सो दिस राम भरत लक्ष्मण एंड शत्रुघ्न they are the four ways of living the life so we had separated the two twins Lakshman and Shatrughan and we have associated them with धर्म राम एंड भरत मोक्ष तो जो अर्थ है जो मनी है उसको हमने धर्म के साथ एसोसिएट किया सो दैट एवरीथिंग राइट शुड बी स्पेंट अपॉन और जो हमारा डिजायर्स हैं उनको हमने मोक्ष के साथ एसोसिएट किया सो जब हमने देखा है हमेशा रामायण में राम और लक्ष्मण साथ में रहते थे भरत और शत्रुघ्न हमेशा साथ में रहते थे राइट So this is how this entire story has been built. The entire living case study has been built. There were reasons behind everything, right? So हमने उन twins को अलग किया. Then अब जब हम धर्म की बात करते हैं तो हमें ये भी समझना है that धर्म is basically divided into two parts. They are of two types rather. One is सामान्य धर्म and the other is विशेष धर्म. सामान्य धर्म is a general धर्म. Which is the way of living that we say, right? And then the other is the Vishesh Dharma. Vishesh Dharma is a special dharma, right? वो special क्यों है? Because this is a dharma that we adopt for the special reasons, and these special reasons are basically for the benefit of majority. Take an example of a soldier. A soldier also has a family. He has kids. He has mother. He has got wife. लेकिन वो अपने पर्सनल रिलेशंस को भूल के देश के लिए खड़े रहते हैं सो फॉर देम देयर कंट्री इज देयर फैमिली तो वो विशेष धर्म है राइट तो अब जब हम इन चार भाइयों की बात करते हैं राम लक्ष्मण भरत और शत्रुघ्न इनको जब हम देखते हैं सो वी सी दैट राम इज एक्चुअली प्लेइंग अ रोल ऑफ जनरल धर्म राइट सामाजिक धर्म सामान्य धर्म क्यों क्योंकि हम जब राम जी को कह रहे हैं दैट ही इज द एपिटोम ऑफ धर्म ही इज द स्केल ऑन व्हिच अ धर्म इज मेजर्ड when we do a research there are scales on which we measure the righteousness or the wrong things the satisfaction or the dissatisfaction we measure it with the scale so here in this case ram is actually a scale in itself when it comes on to dharma right वो अपने आप में एक स्केल है he is the epitome of dharma in fact he is being called as the embodiment of dharma किसने कहा that ram is the embodiment of dharma who said so राम जी ने नहीं कहा दशरथ जी ने नहीं कहा विश्वामित्र जी ने नहीं कहा who had said so that ram is the embodiment of dharma it was Marich who said so when Ravan went to Marich asking for the help that I need your help so that I can be successful in my mission of abducting Sita. Marich told him, what are you doing? Against whom are you fighting? He is the embodiment of dharma. And later you will realize that you will lose this fight. Maybe you will get the short-term benefits or the short-term desires, but later on you are definitely going to lose the fight. This is what Marich has said. Marich is the one whom Ram punished. Yes. Right? So उन्होंने बोला that he is the embodiment of dharma. तो राम इसीलिए मैंने when I started that what is dharma? Whatever Ram did was dharma. Right? हम लेकिन समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं conflict which is dharma संकट. And there were various instances in the entire Ramayana where there were a lot of dharma sankat before different characters. We will be talking about those instances. Let's first understand that what is this Samanya Dharma and what is this Vishesh Dharma, coming back to the topic. So Ram is somebody who is actually playing the role of Samanya Dharma, right? He's called as Maryada Purushottam. Maryada is what? Limit. Maryada is limit. So as a son, what is my limit? When I am talking to my father, what is my limit? When I am talking to my mother, what is my limit? When I am talking to my children, what is my limit? So he knew that what is his maryada, what is his limit. And within those limits, he used to talk to me and he used to address the entire society. Right? So we say that the Samanya Dharma is projected by Sri Ram. But when we talk about Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughan, let's see that how they are actually projecting the Vishesh Dharma. Now if I talk about Bharat, right? Bharat, जिनको हमने मोक्ष की से relate किया है, how is he playing a Vishesh Dharma? He said that now Bharat was a character who always wanted to be a part of whatever Ram is doing in Ram's deeds, right? But he could not go along with Ram to the exile because Ram had ordered him, no, you cannot come. So he stayed back. And he chose to stay back with the Padabon of Ramji, and he said that I am just a tool. I am just a tool of Sri Ram. Whatever Ram will say, I will do. So he forgot his own identity and he chose to become the tool of Sri Ram, Vishesh Dharma, just like a soldier. Right? Now, when I talk about Lakshman, what Vishesh Dharma Lakshman chose? He said that wherever Ram will be, I will be there. I am always there to serve Sri Ram. Always. Colonel Sir told us the story that he did not sleep for entire 14 years, so that he is all the time serving Sri Ram. So he said that I will be there wherever you are. So again, Vishesh Dharma. He forgot his personal family. He left his wife behind just to serve Ramji and Sitaji. Vishesh Dharma. And when we talk about Shatrughan, what Shatrughan did? Shatrughan said that I am the follower of Bharat. It is like that कि अगर आप भगवान की पूजा कर रहे हो तो मैं आपकी पूजा कर रहा हूँ. मैं भगवान को पूजने वालों की पूजा करता हूँ. He was the follower. This was the role of Shatrughan. So whatever Bharat did, he said I am with you. Whatever you are doing, I am with you. You serve your God and I will serve you. So again, the Vishesh Dharma. Now coming back to the conflict, it is actually understood and said that whenever we are in a conflict situation, whenever there is a conflict in our life, we should always prioritize Samanya Dharma or Vishesh Dharma. We should always prioritize Vishesh Dharma over Samanya Dharma for the betterment of the larger society. Imagine what if all the four brothers might have gone along with, all the three other brothers might have gone along with Ram to exile. What would have happened?
Who will take care of the
Who would take care of Ayodhya? Because when Raja Dashrath decided to give the crown to Raja Ram, it was the time when he already knew that now he is not keeping well. He will no more be able to serve the society in general. So he wanted that कि उनके जीते जी वो अयोध्या का नया राजा देखे. And so he decided to give the throne to Ramji. Right? So even Dashrath was not in a position to serve the society. So these were the Vishesh Dharma that the other three brothers had followed. So जब धर्म संकट आता है, that is the time where we need to actually follow Vishesh Dharma over Samanya Dharma. And to understand it, this Vishesh Dharma and Samanya Dharma is present in each one of us. हम सब में है. It is just the choice that what dharma are we choosing in what situation, in which situation. It depends on that. Right? Coming on to the instances of conflict from Ramayana, there were various instances. There was a fight between Ram, Lakshman and Surpanakha. Then there was a conflict between Thar and Dushan and Ram and Lakshman because of Surpanakha and because Thar and Dushan were the brothers of Surpanakha. When Lakshman had cut the nose and ears of Surpanakha, she ran directly to her brother Karan Bhushan, and then Karan Bhushan had gone to fight for her. They lost their life eventually, right? And then there were other conflicts in Ramayana. I would like to ponder here on one of the instances where we talk about the fight between Bali and Sugriv. Now, what exactly was the relationship of Bali and Sugriv? They were two brothers. They were two beloved brothers. They were twins. There was a very strong bond and a very strong relationship between Bali and Sugriv. Right? Sugriv was always of a nature that I will serve my brother, come what may. Bali was the Raja of Kishkinda, right? They used to take care of the people of Kishkinda. So they were two brothers who were very happily and with their strong bond serving Kishkinda, they were taking care of the people of Kishkinda. What happened once that there was one Mayavi demon comes in Kishkinda one day, and he said that if you want to be the king of Kishkinda, you have to first fight him. So Bali is known to have the powers, the supreme powers, the extra powers, right? In fact, he was given a Ashirvad that with whomsoever he will fight, he will fetch the power of the other person, 50%. Right? Now what happened that वो मायावी राक्षस और बाली के बीच में युद्ध हो रहा है, and वो युद्ध करते करते they are gone into a cage. वहाँ पे जाके बाली ने सुग्रीव से बोला, and Sugriv was always behind Bali to protect him and nothing wrong should go. So Bali ने सुग्रीव से कहा that I am going inside the cage and I will fight with this demon. You just stand outside the cage and take care that nobody else should enter, and I will take care of them. So you stay here. अब वो लड़ाई चले जा रही है, बहुत साल बीत गए, बहुत समय बीत गया, लड़ाई हो जा रही है। अब सुग्रीव बाहर खड़े हुए ये सोच रहे हैं कि अंदर एक्चुअली हो गया है, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि बाली शायद कमजोर पड़ गए या ये युद्ध कब तक चलेगा, किष्किंधा का क्या होगा, who will take care of the entire things, what will happen. Now as he is thinking over it, suddenly he saw that there is a flood of blood coming outside from that cage, and he could hear the roar of that Mayavi demon. वहाँ पे सुग्रीव को लगा that maybe Bali has lost his life, और अब ये blood ये जो flood आ रहा है blood का, and the Mayavi will come out and will do more havoc to my people of Kishkinda. तो उन्होंने बड़ा सा पत्थर लिया, उससे उस केज को बंद कर दिया. He came back to Kishkinda, he talked to the people of Kishkinda, and he said that this entire thing had happened. तो सब लोगों ने डिसाइड किया कि अब हमें कोई राजा चाहिए, and we choose nobody but you to take over the throne. So finally, Sugriv had started taking care of the place. Now one day Bali came, and he saw Sugriv sitting on the throne, becoming the king of Kishkinda. And that was the moment when he actually lost himself. He started fighting with his own brother. Sugriv himself had tried a lot, making him understand that I am nowhere at fault. His wife Tara had tried a lot, making him understand that you are going to lose your brother, your beloved brother, and you are going to lose a good friend of yours. You are going to lose your strength rather if you will fight with your brother. But he had actually lost it all. Bali had lost it all. He abducted his brother's wife. He took over the entire Rajya once again, and he had foregone Sugriv for whatever he did. He did not listen at all. Finally, Sugriv got demotivated, and he had started hating so much to his own brother that now he wanted to kill his brother. वो finally exile में चले गए, he had nothing, उन्होंने सब कुछ, he lost everything, and then finally we know that what had happened when Raja Ram came, and what exactly had happened, and how he could get his wife and the kingship back. The story is known to everybody. Now, if we do the analysis of this entire story that I have just narrated, what exactly had happened here? What was happening with Sugriv, and what was happening with Ram, and what would have been the solution? because we are talking about conflict resolution. There were dialogues, but they were just one-sided dialogues. Right? Bali, hear everything but with a closed mind approach. Bali had put himself into the situation which in psychology we actually call as attribution bias. I hope you understand what is attribution bias. Attribution bias is a situation wherein we say that we try to prove ourselves right politically. As in, if anything good is happening to me, it's because of my own efforts. And if anything bad is happening to me, it's because the environment is such, the situation is such. And if that same bad thing is happening to somebody else, I say that it is because of you. For example, I come late to the office. I say that I got stuck in the traffic. I say that there were problems at home. I say that my tire got flat. It could be situations. But if you are coming late, rather than understanding the situation, I say that you are like that only. You are always lazy. You are always late. This is your habit. So this is attribution bias, where we attribute ourselves in one situation and we attribute others in the same situation in a different way. So this is what exactly had happened with Bali. He got into the situation of attribution biases because he heard everything with a closed mind. He had made a story in his own head and he believed only that. Whatever I am thinking is right. जो आप कह रहे हो वो सब गलत है, जो आप सोच रहे हो वो गलत है, जो मैं सोच रहा हूँ वो ही सही है, right? And with that biases, there are no ways that we can find the solution of a conflict. So what are the solutions? Solution is that we need to hear the things with open mind. And there is a need that we give a benefit of doubt to others. Benefit of doubt is हो सकता है कि ऐसा हुआ होगा, किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है, मेरे साथ होता तो, that is called benefit of doubt. What if I would have been in the same situation? So these are the two ways. And then there is another solution and I call that solution as Ram. एक तो राम भगवान है हमारे, but there is another thing where R is realize, A is apologizing, and M is mending. Mend your ways, to correct your ways. MENDING, mending. So first is realize that something wrong has happened. Understand that it could have happened with me also. Right? So you need to realize that what exactly is there in the situation. Then is apologizing. You need to understand the other person's perspective also, and when the other person is apologizing, accept the apology. Have a heart to understand others. Let others apologize and understand their doings. And then is mending. There is always a scope of correcting the things. Let's mend our ways. This word mend, we have always heard with the rhyme, cobbler, mend my shoes. So what is cobbler doing here? He is correcting my shoe which has gone broken. So here there is a need that we also should mend our ways. Whatever wrong has happened, let's start mending them. Right? So this is the solution. RAN. Realize, apologize, and learn. So there is a solution in Ram always. Right? So this is where we understand that if we talk, there is always a scope of correcting the things, of mending the ways. And if I talk about dialogue, the instances from Ramayana that we took is Ram had sent Hanuman with a message to Ravan that you please leave Sita and we will go. We are not in the favor of war. This is the time when they did not reach Lanka yet. They had crossed the entire ocean. They did a lot of effort. They were in Lanka, and even at that time, at that point of time, Ram had sent Angad as a messenger that we are still not in a favor of fight. You leave Sita and he will go. Even at the last moment, he tried that, let the dialogue work. But it could not, it did not. Right? So here when we see that there are these two characters, Ram and Ravan, whom are we choosing? What are our choices in life? Because even if I talk about Ravan, he is considered as the epitome of tapas. He is considered as the epitome of knowledge. Right? The knowledge that he had, nobody else had. The tapas he did, nobody else could do. Right? But the path that he chose was the path of destruction. He had put forward all his knowledge, all his tapas into destruction. And if we talk about Ram, we call him as the epitome of dharma. He had put all his knowledge, all his tapas into, all towards dharma. The way he lives his life was all correct. Correct not only for him, but correct for everybody else. And when I say everybody else, this also actually reminds us of an example that he had to follow his own wife, and because it should be correct for everyone. The things should be correct for everyone. That is why he had to sacrifice Sita ji and send him back to the forest. When the people of Ayodhya were saying that Sita is not a right person after coming back from Ravan's place. So it actually matters that who is the person whom we are choosing, or who is the ideal to whom we are choosing. In order to resolve the conflicts, dialogues do matter a lot. In fact, there is a very good saying that I was reading in the morning only. It says that please talk to people rather than talking about people. If there is a problem, there is a dharma sankat, and the problem is because of somebody else, please go and talk to that person rather than talking about that person. And this one-liner actually gives us a very big lesson of life. And once we start following this dharma, this way of living, I'm sure that these conflicts are going to vanish. And then the second aspect, that is on strategic thinking. Again, there were various instances where Ramji was seen into deep discussions and strategic thinking for what is going to be the next. He had always followed a servant leadership style. So while he was taking a decision that what is to be done next, once they knew that where the Sita is, once they had the whereabouts of Sita, he did not take the decision alone. He called everybody from the Sudeep kingdom, and he took the advice from everyone else, and they did the strategic thinking that what will be the next step or the next procedures. So whenever in the organization, in the work setting, we have to take any decision, it is advised that a decision taken along with your team is always the best decision. Because one, it always increases the acceptability of a decision. How? Suppose I take a decision and I just throw it upon you. You will say, no, we don't do it. How can we have to follow the decision just, in one day? Right? And if the same decision is taken along with the team and they are told that you have to do it in one day, everybody would agree. Because they were the part of that decision. So it increases the acceptability of a decision. Right? This is what Ram had done and had been doing in all the miseries and in all the instances throughout the life. So there was a lot of strategic thinking about what is to do. And then we all knew that there was just one mission that Ram had, which was to get her wife back. But even after returning from the exile, we have read and we know that Ram had served and ruled over Ayodhya for several thousand years. Why was that so? We know that Vishnuji had taken the birth as a human being on the earth because the other gods were praying him that there is one demon Ravan who is troubling everything. He was of age 24 when he had gone for exile. It was an exile of 14. He was towards the end of his exile somewhere. He fought with Ravan, maybe at the age of some 38 or 39 years. He waited for 39 long years to kill Ravan, which we all knew that he could do it maybe at the time of birth as well. Why not? But he did everything strategically, and even after coming back, even once the mission was over, he still ruled in Ayodhya for thousands of the years for the sake of humanity, for the sake of teaching dharma to people, how a life is lived, for the sake of teaching people what is right and what is wrong, what is dharma and what is adharma, and how to overcome with the situation wherever you are in a dharma sankat. This was the mission of Lord Rama. And this is where we understand that there is always a solution of any of a conflict. It's just that what inferences are we taking from the situation? Are they the mistaken inferences or are they the correct inferences? Mistaken inferences, when I say, is a same situation where Bali had mistakenly taken the inference from the situation कि शायद सुग्रीव चाहता ही था राज करना, इसलिए उसने मुझे गुफा में बंद कर दिया. Knowing the strength ना सुग्रीव की क्या गलती थी वहाँ पे? We had already discussed about what Bali had done and thought, लेकिन हमने सुग्रीव डिस्कस नहीं किया. So सुग्रीव से कहाँ गलती हुई?
Without knowing and going inside, he decided that his brother has vanished.
Yes. He took the decision in a haste. Without understanding the actuality of the entire situation, he simply took the decision. और जल्दबाजी में उन्होंने सोचा कि ये तो मेरा भाई ही है क्योंकि आवाज डेवन की आ रही है और उन्हें गुफा बंद कर दी, knowing that Bali was already full of powers. पता होते हुए भी he just misunderstood the entire situation. ये गलती बाली से हुई और उस गलती के बदले में he had to lose everything, his family and his kingdom and everything. Although he never had intention of being the king of Kishkinda, he never had. He always had an intention of serving Kishkinda and the people of Kishkinda. Even without having wrong intentions, he had to bear the losses because of the mistake that he did, a decision taken in haste, without realizing the actuality in the situation. So these are certain examples and certain lessons that we can take from Ramayana, that whenever we are taking a decision, we have to actually understand the entire reality of the situation. Never take a decision in haste. Go to the people, talk to people. Try to find out the solution. Moving on, I now invite Professor Ashish so that he can carry forward with the work life and the lessons from him.
Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me. Once again, hello everyone, and a special thanks to Vicky ma'am for providing a good full form. Even हमको ये नहीं पता था कि आप की full form किस टाइप से भी हो सकती है, but it is very helpful in our practical exposure in the business. Now coming to this same topic from the business perspective, I want to discuss firstly the resolving the issue with dialogue. So these are the three words that they are shown in this. First is, if we are talking about the issue, what is issue? Issue is the problem or a conflict between two parties, or you can say the between two individuals, or one individual even in a situation. But at the end, if we talk about the situation, it is created. या तो वो किसी ने बनाई है या वो colleagues ने या किसी environment में जो वो situation बन गई है, that is not in a comfort zone of that particular individual. So this is the main topic that we are discussing today, and how the dialogue is what we call as an open discussion or an open communication between both the parties, to reach out a compromise decision for the betterment of both the parties as well as for the organization as well. Now resolving with the open communication, how we are talking, and yes, whenever we are talking about an open communication or effective communication, one of the most terminology that has been used or developed by Gary, the researcher Gary in early 1950s, is activism. So the researcher Gary has developed the concept of active listening and the reflective listening. Right? How does it listening plays a very crucial role in making the communication effective? So paying close attention where everyone feels respected and heard. Now there is a one quote that is mentioned by me from the Ramayana. केवल बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति भी दूसरों की बातें सुनते हैं क्योंकि ज्ञान हर जगह पर रहता है. This is in reference to Valmiki Ramayana. Now, moving forward, we are discussing a situation from the Ramayana movie. हम सीता के अपेक्षित की बात करते हैं. Following the affection of Sita, Lord Rama is filled with grief and a lot of anger. Now his advisor, Dewan, Sugriv, asked him to act strategically. Now, we'll talk about the Rama's perspective, or the statement that is mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana. They say and they address the army that कि जबकि प्रतिशोध मेरे भीतर भी चलता है, मैं जानता हूँ कि सच्ची जीत सिर्फ ताकत में नहीं बल्कि बुद्धिमान की सलाह में भी है. खुलकर बोले आप सभी मेरे दोस्तों, मेरे साथियों, क्योंकि निराशा की स्थिति में भी खुला संवाद, at least an open communication, plays a very crucial role in that. That is to provide a clear pathway to achieve that particular goal, that is to rescue Sita. So this states Rama's leadership qualities, that each and every individual suggestion plays a very crucial role to make the choices, the best choices, from the various sources. Despite his emotions, he values the wisdom of his advisor and encourages open communication to find out the best course of action. Now, if we are talking about the business world, the other two terms that are very common: disagreement and conflicts. If I am talking about nowadays, from my perspective, I am talking that the main problem is that in the many of the individuals or the in the society that बाकी सब ठीक है. If we are talking about 100 चीजों में से 98 are perfect, but the दो चीजें बस कमी है. बस दो चीजों को कोई हट के ऐसा मैटर नहीं करता. तो दो चीजें वो क्या होती हैं जो कमी है, ना वो किसी की मानते और ना वो जानते. So this contributes to the disagreement and the conflict. Now जब वो जानते भी नहीं है और किसी की मानते भी नहीं है, तो what's the matter? Can anyone manage this view, share their views on this? Yes, agree with me or not? Totally agree with the physical participant. Yes, online participants can also raise your hand and show your active participation. कि आप लोग सो नहीं गए हो वीडियो बंद करके. Yes. You are right. ये मैं शुरू कर लेता हूँ क्योंकि अब तो किसी ने hand raise तो नहीं किया. Let I assume this. Because I am a researcher, so I will assume. Yes, you are there. Yes, three of the participants. Now moving forward, how this effective communication on a dialogue role play in the business world? First, the understanding the root cause. Because whenever we are talking about any conflicts, there is a mistake of both the parties at some point. It can be a ratio raised from 3 to 7. We are talking about, or 5-5 ratio. We can say the 50-50% कुछ हिंदी गलती है, कुछ हिंदी है. तभी उस चीज को हम solutions निकाल सकते हैं. And we can identify the main root cause of that particular problem. And at the end, वो compromise ही होगा. This is the result. Compromise होके उन दोनों parties को आगे चलना होगा. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि एक party no, never. We are talking about the business. Creative problem solving. it also contributes to the creative problem solving. Whenever we are taking the views, the opinions from others, we are having a lot of opinion from the different mindsets. So it also contributes to that how to solve that problem in a creative way with a different angle. It builds up your trust and respect. Yes, these are the two parameters. When we are having a trust on our team members, and the leader is having a trust on the team members, yes, they can do. If we consider these two parameters on the Lord Rama's perspective, then the Lord Ramas have full of trust on Manasena. Even if we, on the other hand, if we talk about the Ravan, रावण ने बोला कि अब ये मानव सेना के साथ क्या करेगा? तो समवेयर अगर हम रावण की बात करते हैं तो वो विद्वान था, he has all the powers, कोई उसको हरा नहीं पाया, full of strength भी उसके पास नहीं थी. We are talking about SWOT analysis. तो जो लास्ट में एंडिंग वो अपनी स्ट्रेंथ की वजह से नहीं आ, तो हमारा वीकनेस है. So this gives us a message in the business world also. You can win and you can keep your competitive advantage if you can easily identify your colleagues or your competitors. Now moving forward, the essential elements for the effective listening are active listening and the focus on your interest area, not on a position. Openness to compromise, always. You have to, whenever you are working as a team, you have to be compromising. You can keep your personal issues aside whenever it comes to the professional. There are some tips to facilitate the dialogue as well. It's create a safe place for open communication, setting your ground rules that establish clear and respectful communication, like avoiding your personal attacks and focusing on the issues at the hand. Ask always a open-ended questionnaire from your primary audience, or whether you want to retrieve the data either from the customers or any other external environment. Avoid using the dichotomous questions that will cause limitations from the opinions, like whenever you are collecting feedback, so you have to keep that open-ended or not only that. Like considering the examples that how can this contribute in the team building. Schedule regular meetings to discuss the challenges that Lord Ramas has also presented, that हम कैसे उसको अचीव कर सकते हैं टारगेट को. What is the goal set by the Lord Rama to rescue the Sita? And there are various meetings conducted by Lord Rama to rescue Sita. That first have to do the best of the research part. रिसर्च पार्ट करने के लिए उन्होंने हनुमान जी को लंका में भेज दिया कि भाई आप जाकर के देख के आइए कि उनकी आर्मी है तो कितनी है तो कौन कौन क्या कर सकता है. The capabilities of the demons. So this is also the research part. Now we will the second point, encourages the open communication and diverse viewpoints. Even Sudhi and other also advisors openly can give their opinion about the same, that हम ये कर सकते हैं, ये कर सकते हैं. The last one also give the point of view sir कि भैया आपको ये पूरा एक एरो से इसको पूरी को सुधा दो, हम जल्दी चले जाएंगे और जो माता जी है वो हमारी माता बन जाते हैं. So there are the different opinions, but a very calmnessly and a very kindness part Rama has told the decision of this creating a pathway. Now that what are the takeaways? If we talk about the one-line conclusion of that resolve issue in the dialogue, dialogue isn't about winning any argument within the team or organization. It's about finding the solution that works for everyone. That is for the betterment for each and every. Now, by active listening, fostering empathy, and prioritizing open communication, we can turn disagreements into opportunities for collaboration and growth within your team. Only part for resolve issue with dialogue. Now, moving on to the strategic part, strategic thinking. Now, If we talk about the strategy, what is the strategy all about? It is totally based upon our set objective. What is our goal in life? If we are talking about individual. And on the other hand, if we talk about from the perspective of business organization, it can be a vision or it can be a long-term goal, it can be a short-term. For achieving that particular set bit objective in time, that is the strategy model. Can be a plan A, plan B, plan C, because it is all the dynamic world with the changing market conditions, technological advancement, and so on. Now, this point is more overly focuses on the long-term planning and anticipating your future challenges that inspired by the strategic reasons in the last. Now, let's take another group from Valmiki Ramayana. जीत केवल ताकत पर नहीं बल्कि सावधानी पूर्वक योजना पर निर्भर करती है. Is your plan is effective or not? And this analysis has been done to you on a certain confidence level. Now, the ability to analyze the current situation considers future possibilities to develop a plan to achieve the goal. Like Rama's strategy to utilize Hanuman's strength for scouting the Lanka, as I mentioned in my previous discussion also. That related and another situation from the Ramayana Movie. राम और उनके सहयोगी जो वानर सेना की लंका पर हमले की रणनीति बना रहे थे. वे संभावित बाधाओं पर चर्चा कर रहे थे कि what are the various obstacles जो आ सकती हैं, can be assumed or can be predicted, और उन्हें दूर कैसे करना है कि भाई इनको कौन हैंडल करेगा. This is the main discussion which is having a take place. Now there is another point of view from the Lord Rama's perspective. Yes, the path of rescue seeker is fraught with danger, with full of danger. We must consider every possibilities from Ravana, formidable army, to precious prey of Lanka. Through carefully planning and open communication, we can overcome any obstacle. Now, this quote represents the Rama's strategic thinking. How? He acknowledges the challenges ahead and emphasizes the importance of planning open communication to achieve their ultimate goal. That means before the war, Lord Rama has done a very good research about Rama. This gives us a message कि अपने दुश्मन को कभी भी कमजोर नहीं समझना चाहिए. This points I want to highlight here. Now, we are talking about the benefits of strategic thinking, which also contributes to the bigger picture as a business, make more informed choices that align with your long-term goals. It improves your decision making, it increases the adaptability of you with the dynamic business mode, enhance the resource allocation so that you can put your talent on the right place at the right time. A stronger competitive advantage. You can more focus towards your skill set. That what that makes you different from the competitors. Enables proactive decision making based on a broader understanding of situation, building the strategic planning of dramas and result avoidance. Helps identify and mitigate the potential risks. What are the potential risks that before they arise, and reflecting the importance of anticipating enemy tactics in the drama. Now this point indicates that in the pathway also जब वो जा रहे थे लंका के साइड में बीच में as Professor B.K. Sharma has also mentioned that there are the 11 main demos that has attacked within the duration of journey. So उनको tactics को deal करना उनको how to deal with that. So they already predicted this all. Now also it creates also a roadmap for achieving long-term objectives similar to Rama's unwavering goal of rescuing Sita. This is the main objectives. And now how, talking about that, how can you develop this strategic routines in you in the current modern world? There are the curiosity and the exploration of the new knowledge. Just indicates whenever you face some kind of problem, as we are all the senior professionals attending this development program, we all are having a knowledge. But finding a solution with an unknown knowledge, that is more important to develop this strategic skills. Always looks at the situation differently from the different perspective, from the different angles. You can see, always you can see one plan. Yes, there are certain problems that are time bound. So for that, you cannot resolve them some problems. From my side, उन problems के लिए भी important that some problems are time bound. When time passes, problem passes. Embrace diverse perspective, practice scenario planning, consider different future possibilities, and develop strategies to adapt the various situations. Measure and track progress within your time, whether it is a deviation or not. Now let's take an example of the SWOT analysis and weakness, as we all know. Right? From the internal environment as well as from the external environment where we are assessing this all. As Rama has evaluated his army's strength and Ravana's weakness by the primary data of division. The view of division ने कहा जब उसको परेशान हो गई कि भाई ये अब हार नहीं रहा है. What can I do? Then the division replies, "Sir, ये करना है." Then only he can defeat. Now the connection and the overall message of the strategic thinking is all about, and as well the resolve issue. By effectively resolving issue through open dialogue, open communication, and applying strategic thinking, inspired by the wisdom of Ramayana, you can build a stronger foundation of success. Always we have to remember that strategic thinking is an ongoing process. By adopting a strategic mindset and continuously refining your approach, we can ensure our business as well as we are also stays on track for the long-term success and navigates ever-changing directions of the markets. So this is my conclusion for these total topics for today's discussion. Now, moving on to the next slide of a wake-up call. You can read it out, this is a wake-up call to you all, and you can answer the same questions yourself. Now I would like to again request Professor Dr. B.P. Sharma to discuss the next slide, that is full of thoughts. And please.
Today we are taking a very small case set, and this is a situation where the Lakshman and Shurpanakha are conflict. Now, what exactly had happened in this entire scenario was, we all know that Lakshman by his character that he was very aggressive, and for everything and anything he only wanted to fight it out. So there was a conflict where Lakshman, brother of Ram, he disfigures Shurpanakha, the demon princess, after she attempts to seduce Ram, disguised as a beautiful woman, and then attacks Sita. Shurpanakha, enraged and humiliated, seeks revenge on Ram and Lakshman. So what happens next is, so there was a missed opportunity for the dialogue. There was no dialogue between Shurpanakha or Lakshman. Immediately Lakshman saw that Shurpanakha is trying to harm Sita, he had attacked him. There was no dialogue. While Lakshman protected Ram and Sita, some argue this action could have been more measured, he could have tried to do something else. What if, and because that was the point of time from where the entire conflict had begun. What if Supnaka and Lakshman might have had a dialogue there? What if Lakshman had not cut his ears and nose? What if Ram would have been the same situation what Ram would have? So this is the actually the school of thought there. So understand that the Supnaka's motive, Rama to uski motive kya hai? A conversation might have revealed her desire for Ram or a fear of rejection or leading to a less violent resolution. कि मेरे को लक्ष्मण को चाहिए नहीं मुझको राम चाहिए मैं सीता को हाम करने नहीं आई हूँ मैं एक्चुअली राम के लिए निकली so is there any way probably we might have had a dialogue तो हो सकता है कि repercussions इतने ज़्यादा नहीं हैं there could have been an offer or an alternative Lakshman could have proposed a solution that addresses Supnaka's concern without compromising Ram and Sita's safety हो सकता है लक्ष्मण कुछ उनको कोई alternative दे देते Right. Outcome would have been Supnaka disfigurement sues her hatred क्योंकि उसका disfigurement हो गया था खाना मार कर गए थे तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा aggressive हो गई थी. So it had turned into hatred. The love had immediately turned into hatred. Initially she was wanting to have them and then it had turned into hatred. Leading her to manipulate her brothers Bharat and Dushan into attacking Ram and Sita and ultimately triggering events leading to Ravan's abduction. अब खरा और दूषण को तो सुपनखा ने कहा कि तुम जाओ उनको मारो हुआ उल्टा लेकिन रावण को जाकर सुपनखा ने कुछ और बात करी कि सीता बहुत सुंदर है she deserves to be your queen she provoked right so now the school of thought here is that would Ram have approached the situation differently or in a very same way because we say that Ram is Dharma maybe I will not So this is the school of thought for today. Each one of you have your own time and you can think over this caselet and you can think over a desired answer to this caselet. Because we say that with dialogues, things do become better. Can this situation be seen from the different perspective of what Ram might have done, what Lakshman might have done? So this is where we leave you all today. The participants who have joined us online, even they can think over the same. They can think the situation in a different way. And this is where, with this school of thought, we leave you all today. Thank you all so much for joining us on this 5th day of the FDP. We are yet to go for 3 more days, and we hope to see you again for another 3 days. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are sharing the feedback from and the link.
The weekly shared to the group kindly fill it. Thank you for attending this session. We forward for your active participation in
There was one incident when Bali has asked the Supreme कि आप case के पास कर लो and should not allow anyone to enter into that case. उसने देखा कि ब्लड बाहर आ रहा है and उसने सोचा कि अब ये मेरे किंगडम को भी नुकसान करेगा.